I retired without winning the lottery, without building a startup, without hitting it big in crypto. And here's what nobody tells you. The system is specifically designed to keep you working as long as possible, not because you need to, but because someone else profits when you do. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to beat that system and escape years earlier than you think possible. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth that most financial experts won't tell you. The retirement system in this country is designed to keep you working as long as possible, and it's not for your benefit. The longer you work, the more taxes you pay. The longer you work, the more you're contributing into systems rather than drawing benefits from systems you've already paid into for decades. And while you're working those extra years, someone else is profiting from your loyalty to the company, to the government, to whatever institution has convinced you that you can't leave yet. But here's what's really happening while you're grinding away for just one more year, just one more bonus, just one more milestone. Your health is deteriorating. Every additional year you work past the point where you could reasonably retire is a year of your healthiest retirement time that you're trading away. And you can't get those years back. You can't be 65 when you're 70. The experiences available to you, the energy you have, the physical capabilities you possess, they're all declining while you're still sitting in that office or on that job site. Now, this isn't a one-size-fits-all situation where everyone should retire at exactly 60 or 62 or 64, but it is absolutely true that most of us should be getting out as soon as we reasonably can, because the math changes once you understand what you're actually trading. You're not just trading time for money anymore. You're trading health for money. You're trading experiences with family for money. You're trading the best years of your senior years for slightly bigger numbers on a retirement account statement. And here's the part that makes this truly insidious. There's not enough money to go around in these traditional retirement plans for everyone to live the life they've been promised. So we have to figure out how to beat the system. We have to outsmart it. We have to find a way to escape that doesn't require winning the lottery or building the next big tech company. So let's talk about what escaping actually means, because it's not what you see on YouTube or hear from financial advisors. The first massive lie you need to stop believing is that you need $1 million or $2 million to retire. If you have the financial means to build up that kind of wealth, wonderful, good for you. But for most people, it's simply mathematically impossible. And I don't care if you're a boomer, Gen X, Gen Z, or whatever generation you want to label, the math doesn't work for most people. Here's a stat that should wake you up. Only 3% of retirees in the United States retire with $1 million or more. 3%. That means the other 97% of us are having to figure out how to retire without hitting that magical number that every financial guru insists you need. And yet, somehow, most of those 97% manage to retire and live reasonably happy lives. How is that possible if the number is so critical? I've always known I didn't need $1 million to retire. What I needed was enough. And that word, enough, it's different for everybody. You need to figure out what your enough is. I knew I didn't need $1 million because I live a simple life. I don't have huge needs. I don't live extravagantly. I don't blow money like there's no tomorrow. And yet, I live exactly how I want to live, with a happy and fulfilling life. In fact, I think I'm richer than most people. Not in money, but in the lifestyle I'm able to live. One of the things I did that changed everything was focus on paying off my mortgage. I was able to pay off our home when I was 51 years old, and I figured that if I at least had a paid-off home, I would always have a place to live in my old age. If I had to scrape together just enough money to make ends meet, at least I wouldn't be homeless. Maybe Social Security would be enough if I didn't have a mortgage payment. For me, one of the most important aspects of retirement is having a home of my own, a place with no drama where I can find peace and solitude and never end up destitute in my old age. After I paid off that house at 51, I was really able to accelerate my savings up until I retired in my 60s. Because here's the thing, When you eliminate that massive monthly housing payment, suddenly you can save way more than you ever thought possible, and you need way less in retirement than you've been told. The second reality you need to accept is that you don't escape the rat race by earning more money. The goalposts always keep moving when you get there. You don't escape by winning the lottery. You escape by needing less, and that means lowering your expenses. When your expenses are lower, you need less money to cover them. It's that simple and that difficult. If you don't have a house payment and you don't have a car payment, it just doesn't take that much money to cover your living expenses. It really doesn't. In fact, retirement is actually a lot less expensive than working life because of all the related costs associated with working. The commute, the work wardrobe, the lunches out, the convenience spending because you're too tired to cook, all of it goes away. So here's how you actually do this. Here's the 6-step plan to escape the rat race without winning the lottery. Step 1. Start with your actual expenses. What are your monthly expenses? What are your annual expenses? That is your starting number, nothing else. You have to know what your numbers are because these are your essential expenses, the amount you need to live and survive. Housing, insurance, transportation, food, clothing, all of it. And the lower your number, obviously, the easier it will be. It doesn't really matter what the number is as long as you know what the number is. Let me say that again. It doesn't matter what the number is as long as you know what it is. If the number's too high, you've got to find a way to lower it. Step 2. Map out your health timeline, your predicted health span. Not your lifespan, but your health span. This is based on 3 things: your current state of health, your lifestyle choices, and your family history. Think about your parents, your siblings, your aunts and uncles. How long did they live? Are they still alive? Are they in good health? All of that has bearing on your predicted health span. And here's what you need to understand. Your 60s are your last chance to take that 3-hour hike, to go fly fishing in challenging terrain, to give your grandchildren piggyback rides. Your 60s are virtually your last chance to do the things your 70-year-old knees won't be able to handle. Yes, there are some people in their 70s who are superb athletes, I get it, but the exception makes the point. Your 60s are the best years of your senior years, and you need to take advantage of them. In fact, a 2025 study by Johns Hopkins University of over 2,000 retirees found that those who got out of the rat race earlier had a 42% lower chance of early death. Not because they were rich, but because they swapped spreadsheets for time with grandkids and hiking trails. Work-related stress isn't just a mood killer, it can actually kill you. That same study proved that chronic stress after 60 increases your heart attack risk by 25%. Your financial advisor isn't checking your blood pressure. He's just profiting from managing your money. Your doctor isn't looking at your 401k. He's getting ahead because your health is declining. It's up to you to take care of yourself and map out your health timeline. Step 3. Live below your means through sensible spending. When you're approaching or in retirement, you need to be a sensible spender, a smart spender, especially with inflation and the cost of living today. Being a sensible spender means my money goes a long way. In fact, my money at the current rate will probably outlast me. But that doesn't mean I'm living cheap or depriving myself. Far from it. It means I'm not reckless and I'm not given to materialism or overconsumption or shopping for a dopamine hit. I can indulge and splurge from time to time. My wife and I do that. I can even afford expensive things occasionally because I haven't wasted money on reckless spending previously. When you're a sensible spender, your money piles up. And furthermore, it doesn't take a lot of money to enjoy yourself in retirement. Think about it. Not everyone in the world is rich, yet most people still live reasonably happy lives full of activities, fun, family, and friends. They find ways to make ends meet financially, even though they're not wealthy. The most fulfilling things in life don't have to cost a lot of money. Family gatherings, day trips, bike rides, hiking, picnics at the beach, grilling steaks at home with friends. None of this requires a massive budget, and these experiences are far more fulfilling than wasteful spending anyway. Step 4.
Accept a simpler lifestyle in retirement. We've been sold the lie that you need to retire in luxury and opulence, and anything less is failure. Nothing could be further from the truth. Instead, retire to a life of simplicity. Be minimal. Enjoy simple pleasures which are actually more fulfilling. Accept a quieter life. A simple life isn't empty, it's spacious. It brings breathing room. One of my biggest pleasures in retirement is putting as little as possible on my calendar. I stress out when my calendar gets bloated with obligations. One of my greatest pleasures is not filling my calendar with unnecessary commitments. I'm still active and busy with a full life, but I do anything I want at any time I want, and I don't have to ask anyone's permission. What's not to like about that? I can spontaneously do anything on any given day. Every day is a write-your-own adventure. Step 5. Remember that memories are greater than millions. If your focus is on enjoying more experiences and building greater memories rather than accumulating millions, that becomes a powerful motivator in your retirement planning. Book that fishing trip now instead of when you're leaning on a walker. Take that road trip while you can still drive for hours. Hike those trails while your knees still work. I could have kept working until I was 68, which for many people is the ideal date financially for Social Security. I could have earned more money and built up my nest egg even more. But I retired at 64. Now that I'm retired, I wish I'd done it sooner. Chasing more money beyond 64 would have cost me 4 more years of my prime senior years. By retiring at 64 instead of 68, my wife and I got to spend 15 days spring hopping through Central Florida's Clearwater Springs, swimming with manatees. We went camping multiple times at Gulf Island's National Seashore, watching sunrises and sunsets over the ocean for $30 a night. We took our children and grandchildren to the Smoky Mountains, hiked trails, jumped through waterfalls, rented ATVs, and drove to the top of Clingman's Dome. I gave up 4 years of additional income by retiring at 64. It cost me some money, but it gave me opportunities to do things I would never have been able to do past 68. And I did it with 0 regrets. In fact, my only regret is not retiring sooner. One day, my 80-year-old self is going to thank me that I did these things while I still could. Step 6. Ditch the million-dollar benchmark entirely and calculate your actual enough number. Take your annual expenses, factor in Social Security if you'll have it, factor in any pension or passive income, and figure out what gap you need your savings to fill. That's your number. Not $1 million, not $2 million, your actual number based on your actual life. Here's the bottom line. Go live the best years of your senior years. And the best years of your senior years are the early years. The system wants you to believe you're not ready, that you need more, that you should work longer. But retirement is a lot cheaper than we think. It really is. You don't need to win the lottery. You don't need a startup exit. You don't need crypto wealth. You need to know your numbers, lower your expenses, prioritize your health timeline, spend sensibly, embrace simplicity, and focus on memories over millions. The system is designed to keep you working, but you can beat it. The question is, will you? Leave a comment and let me know where you are in your journey and what's holding you back from escaping sooner. Thanks for watching, and remember, your 60s are waiting. Don't waste them at a desk.